Hey there, everybody. Hello, mystical souls. Super glad that you are here. My name is Patricia Tate. I'm a traditional evolutionary and Western astrologer. I use whole sign and Placidus. I'm super excited that you are here because we are in unprecedented times, and I'm excited to be sharing about what the next 2 weeks are going to be bringing all of us. If you are interested in getting in the queue, we do have several people already signed up, but there is a PayPal link down below. It's $40 of PayPal. And I need your exact date, time, and location of your birth. And so would love to know where you're at, and welcome to be in the queue here. Excited. I am currently in Ohio, and we'll be traveling soon, ready to get back out on the road. So I want to jump right in and talk about like the overall astrology. And I do want to let you know about a class. It's a webinar, actually. I offer one a month. And so I'm going to be offering a webinar next Tuesday. You can find out more information at willowgracemystik.com. And basically, these are interactive learning opportunities. The eclipses are going to be shifting signs into Virgo, into Pisces. And so everybody has this in their chart. And so where you have it, the nodes are going to be shifting into that. The eclipses are going to be shifting, and it'll be an 18-month time period of adjusting to spirituality and our health and healing and all of those great things. And so I hope to see you there. Let's see. Hey, Ellen, I am super glad that you are here. I do have your chart up and ready. Dawn, you can enter the information with the PayPal link. Hey, Sarah, so glad that you are here. I know you're from Maine. I'm so glad that you are back. I have you in the queue. All right. So let me pull up. I want to bring up, let's see, what is actually going on with us, and that way I can explain a little bit about the overall theme of what's going on for everybody and why everybody's feeling this. So for my videos, I always do it by rising or sun sign, and I have broken up this month's into mini, like the Jupiter and Mars conjunction that everybody is talking about. So in order to understand the totality of everything, you have to put together all of these events because they happen one after another in a consecutive order, shifting and changing. We are currently feeling it. So Mars, think of it as a warrior, and Jupiter wants to expand. And so it's in the sign of Gemini. Duality, wanting to do two things at one time. Mars wants to rush right in, and Jupiter wants to expand it right away. The problem with this happening for everybody, the exact date is going to be on the 14th, so tomorrow, but we're feeling this right now. At the same time, we all have Mercury stationed retrograde in the sign of Virgo, and it's going to back up into the sign of Leo. So it's literally covering two areas of our life. Virgo, where we're detail, where we pay attention to work, we pay attention to our service to others, and then it's going to be moving back into Leo. Whenever Mercury stations retrograde, I think of it as an opportunity to redo, revise, rethink, rewind. And so what it's asking us to do is to go back over a specific area of our life at the same time as the Jupiter-Mars conjunction. So for everybody's feeling this tension. Mars does not like to be pent up. Mars wants what it wants, and it wants it now. And Jupiter wants to give everything. It's like one drink too many, or one of something too many. It does not have limitations. What's going to happen is the very next day, Mars is going to move past Jupiter, and it's going to square with Saturn. Saturn is in the sign of Pisces. They consider it to be debilitated. Saturn wants limitations and rules. Saturn has the rings around it, and so Saturn is the father of time. And so we have what you want, and somebody saying no and offering limitations. Now, there can be two ways to look at this. One, Saturn is saying, look before you leap, use caution, have a plan, make sure that you know what you are doing before you just jump ahead with this plan. Then then we're going to move into the full moon, and then we're going to have a couple of things happen at the same time there. We're going to have Jupiter in a square with Saturn. Jupiter is known as the great benefic, and Saturn is known as the great malefic. So we have Jupiter that wants to give everything and Saturn that wants to restrict everything. Now Saturn is having a conversation with whatever you are starting, whatever you're beginning, whatever you're doing. And remember, you're rethinking, reevaluating, revising. You're going back over specific topics in your life. And so Saturn is going to say, we need to limit some things here. This is not working. And Jupiter in this square with Saturn, it can go one of two ways. Saturn can say, is that the best? Are you underestimating yourself? Or can you reach a bigger audience? Can you do bigger? Can you ask for more? Or Saturn will ask you to take a step back and look at what you are starting, what you're beginning, and saying, I want you to stop and pause, and I want you to have a plan. I want you to be organized and structured in order to carry this out. In order to have this come to fruition, you have to have some type of, you have to have a plan. Yeah, because it wants to stop. Now, if you go back to 2020, that's when the similar themes came up. This is going to be the first of 3 squares. So pay attention to what is going on with you in the latter half of August. Literally, this is such a pivotal, important, I would say it's the most important 2 weeks that set up the theme of the next year to year and a half of your life. Because this Saturn square with Jupiter, you're going to have it again on December 24th and then again in June. So it will actually happen 3 different times, and the themes will be similar. So pay attention to the first one. Remember, astrology it's about patterns and themes, and once you've identified what the theme is, then you will recognize it the next time it comes about. The other thing that I want to add in with this is the full moon that's in the midst of all of this. So the full moon, let me pull up that. It's not just a full moon, it's a super full blue moon. So super meaning it's closer to the earth, it looks like it's bigger. And so with this full moon, we have the sun focused on fun Leo things, like last bit of summer, let's squeeze this out. It's going to come into a conjunction with the planet of Mercury. Mercury is still stationing retrograde, going back, revising, rethinking. When the planet of Mercury is in the heart of the sun, they call it a cazimi. It magnifies. So know that on the full moon, there's going to be this aha moment. I get it. This is where I have to go back, reflect, revise, review. Then you're going to have a full moon, which is going to be illuminating things that are in the dark, or it will be a culmination or an ending of sorts. So everybody's going to be having this. The difficulty that comes with this full moon is the square to Uranus. Uranus requires us to think outside the box, and Uranus will crash all your plans. If you try to plan something, Uranus has something else planned for you. It is expect the unexpected. And so the sun wants to do one thing, the moon wants to do the other. There's this revelation, and then there's Uranus that says, and this is the way we're going. This is what we're going to be doing. And it's in a square. Squares are uncomfortable tension points that push us to think differently and come up with an altogether new plan. At the same time this is happening, Venus is going to be in a square with Jupiter. And so Jupiter, remember, it's whatever you are starting, whatever is happening to you this week. Venus is the goddess of love and money and resources, wants to bring everything together. She is going to be in a conflict with Jupiter. Jupiter just wants to spend the money, go do this, make it happen. And Venus is saying, no, we need to slow down and pause. Again, we need to think about this. This is a square that's going to include Saturn. So we have a lot of start-stop moments where we're pulling ahead, and then we need to be pulled back to say, am I thinking about this? Am I thinking about the long-term ramifications of this? I am definitely moving forward with things, but I'm also stopping and pausing and saying, is this within my wheelhouse? Am I able to complete this? Am I working to my fullest potential? All of these things are all going to be happening within days of each other. And then towards the end of the month, we're going to have Mercury finally out of retrograde. That's when things are going to start to unwind. The thing about that is we are then in the eclipse. We are within the parameters of the next eclipse cycle starting. So this energy is ramping us up to change, grow, and evolve, and not to work from a space of fear, but to work from a space of, this is in my best and highest good. And if it's difficult, I'm maybe not meant to, like if the door is closed, it may not be a door that I'm supposed to be opening. I may need to go and move on. Or how hard am I willing to work for something? Squares build resilience and they require patience. And so that's what Saturn wants. How bad do you want this? Are you willing to work for it? Saturn gives nothing away for free. All right, so let's start to dive into what is really going on now that everybody has an idea of their charts. So let me pull up. And again, if you are interested in the transit talks, it'll be next Tuesday. And if you cannot make it live, you can always watch it afterwards, like see the recording of it. All right, so let me pull up. My first person in the queue is going to be Ellen, and I greatly appreciate your patience and waiting. A lot of information that I want to share with you. All right, so Ellen, the first thing that you were asking about a promotion. I want to talk to you about like the overall theme of your career, your job, your things that are going on with you. So you have the Mars Jupiter conjunction in your 11th house of my hopes, my wishes, my dreams, my goals. Who do I network with? Who do I align with? This is an opportunity for you to be crystal clear on, this is where I need to move on with my teams, my peers, my networks. This could be for work or this could be for pleasure. I look at this as Mars wants to initiate. Jupiter says, I have this great idea. Let's work together. This is in the form of collaboration. What's going to come from this, or the difficulty that's going to come from this, is Saturn. Mars and Saturn are going to be the first one that are going to, like, it's going to square up. The square will start like literally the day after, like on the 15th. So you are looking for collaboration for things that you want to do for your career, your job, your reputation, something that you want for a reputation. Who do you align yourself with? Because the square is to Saturn in your 8th house, the 8th house represents who you are aligned with, that you share resources or investments with. So this could be business partners, significant others, clients, one-on-one relationships that you are invested in or invested with. There could be this square that comes up of somebody else wanting to take credit for something. Mars just wants to initiate. Mars just wants to move forward. And Saturn says there has to be a plan. You are having a Mars opposition. So if you think back a year ago, this has to do with projects. It has to do with creativity, things that you wanted to begin, start, launch. The 5th house is the house of what do I want to give birth to? And so something that you were starting then is now there's this opposition to, and it's where do I go from here? What do I do with this now? Now, the full moon is going to occur. Okay, no, let me back up a little bit more. I want to talk about Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in your 2nd house of your cash, your property, your resources. It's your skill set. Mercury is, after today, it's going to dip back into your 1st house. I know what my worth is. I know what my identity is. I want to ask for this. I want to do this. I want to finish this. This is my project. This is my identity. Mercury is going to be bumping back into your first house to have you refigure, rethink, revise. Who are you presenting like to the table, like to people of authority so people can see you? How are you presenting yourself? And so when Mercury finally stations direct, it'll be closer to the end of the month. It will go back over your ascendant and back into your second house. And I really think that that is when you will request or ask for more of like the promotion. I want to bring up the full moon. Let me flip screens here, because the full moon is going to add to this story about what is going on with you. So the sun is in your first house. So we know that everything that's going on is you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, what else is there? This is about your identity. It's, am I in line with what I want to do, with how I want to be known? With Mercury forming this Cazimi, you're going to have this aha moment of, now I get it, but Mercury's going to go back. It's going to retrograde. It's going to be rethinking, reevaluating. So this could be revamping your business cards, revamping your looks, revamping something with how do you want to be known, like with identity of labels or something that you have launched, a creative project that you've launched. The ending is going to be in your seventh house of partnership. This could be with clients or business partners. It could be significant others also, but I'm looking at this as you asked about work. And so a full moon is bringing some type of an ending or culmination. This could mean that they are moving on, they no longer need your service, or there could be a revelation. Now, the square comes with your career. So it's the wild card. Uranus in your 10th house represents everything that has to do with your career, your life path, your public life, authority figures. This is a look at, I didn't even think about that. This person didn't even see me. I didn't know that they noticed me, or this is where I want to go. This is what I want to do. I thought I wanted to do this, but this is now, it's you cannot predict anything that has to do with Uranus. You have to go with whatever Uranus offers you, and you have to like learn to work with it. What is also going to be happening is Venus is going to be in a square with the people that you are connected with. Venus in your second house is going over this is my money, my resources, my skill set. This is my worth. This is my project. I started this. This is it's what we need in order to feel secure. And Venus is going to want to articulate clearly, but because Mercury is retrograde, there might be some miscommunication or misunderstandings within people that you network with or groups that you're networking with, like definite confusion or contracts, negotiations, paperwork, wanting to travel, all of these topics. And so things will not move forward in a timely manner until we get to closer to the end of the month. So there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with a lot of things that are going to be offering you new alternatives. What you think is going on with your job or your career and wanting this promotion may not be what you get in the end, but it will turn out to be for your best and highest good. Let me see. I think that's all of it. Let me look around. Yeah. I'm thinking that things are going to get a little bit, well, I know that things are going to get easier when Mercury moves forward towards the end of the month. And so I'm really liking this for you, that it'll be closer to the end of the month. I know you did ask about like house hunting and stuff, so I did like look that up. And I thought that you were the person who asked me about open periods for next year, if you're going to plan forward. Open periods for next year, I would look at anything that's after the middle of April and up until the middle of July as open and free period to like launch things, begin things, and to get through this time period that we're all working through. So Ellen, I really appreciate you trusting me. I thank you for being here, and work with the energy. And like I'm encouraging everybody, don't be afraid of it, but embrace it, and don't come to the fight and say, how can I use this to my best and highest good? How can I move forward with this? Okay, I'm looking in the queue. I just gave up on house hunting. I think that's where yeah. I would definitely say give up on the house hunting truly until next spring, because what's going to happen is what we're going through now is it's like a cluster mess of start stop. Everybody is pushing forward, wanting and feeling that they're being pulled back and wanting to express themselves, and then things are being revealed. It's kind of like being not on a roller coaster, but if you've ever been whitewater rafting, you have to trust with where you're going and trust where the water is taking you, and you're holding on and you're embracing it for the experience that it is, because what we're experiencing now, you're going to again see the same themes the end of December, and then you're going to see them again in June. So it's kind of like this topsy-turvy, but where you're going to end up is going to be in a better place than where we are right now. So I really appreciate you for trusting me. Thank you very much, Ellen. And please keep me posted on what's going on with you. Hey, Chronicles podcast. Super excited that you are here with us. Sending out a big fat hug to you. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. All right, Gabby. Greatly appreciate you waiting, Gabby. All right, let me pull up a bi-wheel. There's so much going on with everybody right now that everybody is feeling it, and we see it in the news. If you think about, I heard Rick Levine, he's another astrologer, and he explained Jupiter as like the Democrats and like wanting to expand everything, and Saturn as like the Republicans, and the square is this clash that can come between the two. And so it's, how do we work to find this middle ground? All right, so let's talk. All right, so Gabby. Gabby, let me start off with the Jupiter square. All right, this is the big theme. Since you didn't ask, oh yeah, you did. You wanted to know about the full moon and then about the lunar eclipse. Okay, so let me tell you what's going to lead up to the full moon, and then we'll talk about the lunar eclipse, because the eclipses are going to be really important for you. All right, so we're having a Mars-Jupiter conjunction. This is where the two are coming together in your fourth house of your home, your family, your roots, your foundation. The fourth house not only represents like your house and your home, the fourth house also represents your city, your state, your country. It's literally where you live. It is your living situation. It's your personal life. And so this is, I want to expand. I want freedom. I want to understand. And this could be with diving into, this could have to do with real estate or property, but this could also have to do with family, genealogy, and wanting to dive into it. The square is going to come with Saturn in your first house of self. This has everything to do with you and feeling not in sync with some things that are going on at home. And so this causes the conflict. The first planet that's going to move on is Mars. Mars rules over your second house of your self-worth, your cash, your property, your skill set. Mars is wanting to move forward with the plans that have to do with your home. And Saturn is saying, do you have a budget? Did you think about this? And then Saturn is going to be the next one that's going to is going to square. at the same time as the full moon. So you're going to have these two areas of your life that have to do with your identity, you being seen, your desires, your interests, and what is going on at home. What does your family life look like? What does like do you want to move? Do you want to expand on your home? Like what is going on with the conflict that's happening with this? At the same time that this is happening, you're going to have this full moon. Let me back this up and show you now the full moon, because the theme goes along with, hold on, the theme leads up to what is happening. So the sun has you focused on your 6th house, your mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, and it's going to be in a cazimi, meaning it's going to be, the Mercury is going to be in the heart of the sun. Mercury is stationed retrograde. It's going back over partnership, back over clients. The 7th house is the +1 house. You with contracts, negotiations, best friends, significant others. It's renegotiating, refinancing, it's all of the re words. Another look at it. Mercury is then back into your 6th house of, I need to take better care of my health. I might need some guidance or a mentor on this. I see it, but I don't understand everything that's going on. The full moon is occurring in your 12th house. So we know that there's some kind of limitation that's been holding you back. This could be either with mental, physical, spiritual, your health, your well-being, a closure, an ending, something that's going to be revealed. The 12th house is the house of solitude. So having a full moon will end you being isolated, you being kept away from everybody else and ready to go back out into the public. The 12th house is how we deal with our subconscious issues and how do I overcome my own limitations that either people have put on me or that I've put upon myself. There's going to be a square with Uranus. Uranus is in your 3rd house of who you communicate with neighbors, siblings, cousins, taking a class, taking a workshop, things that are close to home. It will rock your world with what is going, like truly what is going on and how do I communicate this? What is being revealed? Is there a secret of something that's like the 12th house is the house of the shadow? It's the connection to the spiritual realm. It's where we go to for yoga and meditation. And it's also secrets uncovered, either yours or something that you would like to keep private or hidden. And there could be a revelation or something that comes out of it. And Uranus, it could be maybe something from somebody else that you might find out, but it's definitely about the private life. I want to bring up one more thing because you have your North Node on top of your Saturn in your 2nd house of your skill set, your income, your possessions, and the North Node is really telling you you need to be focused on your money, your resources, your cash, your property, and what are you doing to get your finances and your resources in line. I thought you asked about the eclipse. So just a quickie about the eclipse. It's going to be important for you because the next eclipse cycle is going to be activating your 7th house of partnership, aligning you with this is where I'm going, this is what I need to do with me plus somebody else. It's not always love, but the 7th house represents contractual relationships, best friends, significant others, clients, one-on-one relationships, open enemies and exes, and taking care and nurturing of self. Taking self-care is going to be really important. And where are you giving of yourself? Where are you taking care of yourself? And then where are you trying to nurture and care for those other people, your partners? The South Node, the eclipse, will dip into the sign of Pisces. That's all about your identity and how are you aligning where you care for others and nurturing and caring for yourself and bringing that in alignment with not giving so much of yourself that it feels like I'm not appreciated, I'm not valued. And so it'll start this fall, like where we will start in the next week or so, being into the eclipse, into the next eclipse cycle. So Gabby, I hope all of this makes sense. Yay. Okay, I do see you on there. Yay. All right. All right. All right. Well, okay, Gabby, I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. Hey, Sue loves astrology. Just wanted to say thank you for. Oh, you are so welcome for the videos. Yeah, I greatly appreciate you and your kind words. It really means a lot because there's a lot of haters out there. So, air hug and a heart. All right, so let me see who is next in the queue. So, Linda, I appreciate you waiting. Oh, for crying on a bucket. There we go. All right, Linda, let's talk about what is going on with you. And I'm really trying to talk fast because there is just so much to share. And I always want everybody to have like as much of the information as possible. All right, so Linda. Okay, Linda, let's talk. I want to first bring up, okay, so the overarching theme, you're a Taurus rising, you've got Uranus in your first house, and you have this Jupiter-Mars conjunction in your second house. This is amazing, but also difficult at the same time. Mars wants to initiate. This is, I got it. This is what I'm going to do with my money, my resources, my cash, my property, my skill set. This has to do with my property, it's how you support yourself. Jupiter wants to expand. This could be asking for a raise. This could be taking my side gig and making it bigger or selling something. It's literally looking over all of your money, your resources, and saying, I got it, and this is what I want to do. What's going to come from this is the first thing that's going to happen is Mars is going to move on, and it is going to come into a square with Saturn in your 11th house. The 11th house is your dreams, your hopes, your wishes, your goals, who you network with. This could be somebody wanting to take credit for something that you're doing for your career, your job, your or your goals. The 11th house brings in topics of where you connect with peers or kindred spirits or teams or social groups. This could be somebody saying it's always got to be about you. You're always using the I statement. There's no I in team. Saturn is going to want to restrict. There's a couple of different ways that you can work this. Mars does want to take credit. Mars wants to initiate. Mars wants to think about your money. This is like your idea. And so Saturn with this may pull you back and say, you need to have a plan. You need to have a step by step. Don't just jump into this. Make sure that you can follow through and finish it. The next thing that's going to happen is Jupiter's going to square, and that'll be on the 20th. And so Jupiter wants to, like, this is like money coming in or resources, like the opportunity to expand upon. And Saturn is saying, nope, rein it in. It's going to be short lived. It will be one wants to expand, the other one wants to contract. Saturn will say, are you thinking long term? Saturn is about goals. And it's about getting to the end. It's the top of the mountain. And it's saying, do you want the quick cash now? Or do you want to think ahead? And like, should we invest in some of this? Do we have a long-term goal, long-term plan? Or Saturn can just say, are you really thinking big enough? Are you thinking too small? Are you planning adequately? Saturn, with the rings around it, really wants you to do the best for yourself, for your best and highest good. What's going to add to this is you've got Mercury stationing retrograde in your fifth house of children, childlike activities, creative projects, things that you want to launch. It's going to move back into your fourth house of home, and it will be, I can use my money for this. I want to expand upon my house. I want to do this research, like not research. It's when Mercury meets up with the sun and the Cazimi, this is what I want to do with my property. I want to landscape. I want to sell the home. I want to do this to the home. It will be on top of your Pluto. It will be, how can I transform my home, my foundation? Now, the full moon, I'm going to back on out of this. The sun is going to have your focus on your home sector, and the full moon is going to be in your 10th house, your career, your job, your responsibility. There will be something that's ending, a project, this could be leaving a job, quitting a job. This could be a project ending, shifting into something else. The square is going to be with you. I don't feel comfortable with this. The first house is your identity. Does this align with my best and highest good? The first house is your desires, your interests, your self-interest. I always say the first house is like your business card, your website, and Uranus is completely transforming who you are. You are growing, changing, and evolving. And it's been a long year for you because who you were is not who you are now. You're taking in all this information and you're like, how do I grow, change, and evolve from this? And so there will be something that will be shifting and changing, and you will be the catalyst with that change. So Linda, I greatly appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you trusting me. Hopefully all of this makes sense to you. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. And Chronicles, people are mean people suck. All right, let's see here, who is next? Sarah. All right, Sarah, thank you, Sarah from Maine. Glad that you are here. I'm trying to remember your story so I can pull it up because I usually do everything cold. Okay, so Sarah, where were we? All right, Sarah, let's talk about this. You are having the Mars-Jupiter conjunction in your 9th house. I want to launch this. I want to create this. I want to publish this. I want to do this. I have this great idea and I want to include these people. I want to make this happen. That's what Mars wants to initiate. The 9th house is foreign people, places, and things, cross-cultural experiences. This is you saying, let's launch it. Let's do it. The difficulty is going to come with the square to Saturn. Saturn is in your 6th house of your day-to-day living. It's finding a mentor, finding a guide, finding somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. Is this sustainable on a day-to-day basis? The 6th house is, how do I find a balance between my home and my career? And so Mars is coming up with all these great ideas and wanting to initiate it. And Saturn is saying, hold on, Tonto, pull the reins back. Is this sustainable? Have you thought this out before you just leap into this? Because what you're thinking is globally. It's bigger than just something that's small. Then when Saturn comes into a square, Saturn is going to want to constrict or restrict what you're doing and saying, this is not sustainable for my day-to-day living. I will be exhausted. I need to bring in somebody to help me. I need other people. Does that mean partners? Does that mean the 6th house is your day-to-day routines. And so what can happen is Saturn in your 6th house can say, I no longer feel like I'm being of service to people. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to help people. And Saturn here can say, and I feel like a slave because I have no time, effort, or energy for myself. Think this plan through. Saturn doesn't say don't do it. Saturn will say, can you think on a broader scale and can you include everything? Are you thinking big enough? Or Saturn will say, are you thinking too broad without a plan or an action in place for the things that you want to do. Mercury is stationing retrograde from your 12th house of your fears, and it's going to be moving back into your house, your 11th house. I like Mercury retrograde bumping back into the sun. It'll be in a Cazimi here. When is the Cazimi? It's on the 18th. This will have you reconnecting with people, places, things, organizations, groups, people that can support you for your hopes, wishes, dreams, and goals. Like, use this as the next 2 weeks as, I got the idea, I want to move forward, I need to have a plan. Who am I reconnecting with? Who am I realigning with? Who will this better support? Because what I have to give is to support everybody. It's a beautiful energy. I want to also bring in the full moon. So you're going to have the sun illuminating who you are networking with. This is clubs, organizations. This the 11th house brings in all topics between friendship and humanitarian efforts. It can be Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. It's like where you are connected to other people. And it can also be work associates. It's like where we brainstorm with people. And Mercury retrograde is, I am ready to reconnect with some of these people, or they will connect you with somebody else. The full moon is going to be an end of something that has to do with something that you're ready to launch, something that you have launched. It could be something that has to do with your children. It could have something to do with investments. The 5th house brings up fun, joy, and pleasure. The finality of this is in a square with your 8th house. So this could mean people that you have enjoyed networking with in these clubs, groups, or organizations, and you could be leaving some of them. And the Uranus square has to do with 8th house topics of where you have the 8th house is the house of where you are bonded or connected to other people. So it could mean like alimony or child support if it's an ex, a business partner, a significant other. So if there's, or it could mean family members if you share money, resources, wills, retirement, savings, losses. Having Uranus rock your world in your 8th house could mean that there could be a secret that comes up or a taboo topic that is brought to light. And this could be making life a little uncomfortable for people, in that we need to talk about this. We need to bring up whatever you're starting. Let's say that you're expanding upon your business. The 8th house is, we've signed these contracts, or I didn't know, like, where is my portion? Where is your portion? The 8th house is our private affairs, and it is the taboo topics that we don't like to talk about, and that's money and resources. And so there will come something that will be brought up with your resources that are, and by resources, I don't always mean money. My resources like can be my skill set and who I value as a personal resource to myself. And so there could definitely be something that comes up with this. You have Venus that's going to be in a T square to what's going on here in your 12th house of, I see it, I feel it, I know it, I need to follow my gut, my dreams, my intuition. I need to sit and meditate before I make a decision with aligning with other people in your life. So Sarah, I'm looking at this as you're probably moving ahead for something that has to do with your business and thinking about other people that can possibly support you. And it'll be a start, stop, and an alignment of how do we bring this together? How do we, because the 9th house is education and publishing and philosophy and beliefs and diving into it and wanting to expand upon it. All right, Sarah, I am really hoping all of this makes sense to you. I greatly appreciate you being here and trusting me, and sending out an air hug to you. All right, so let me see who is next in the queue. Oh, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, let's talk, Jacqueline. All right. Oh, let me. Oh, Sarah. Okay, makes perfect sense. Big launches coming and definitely having to use discernment about. Look, that is like, I want you to be, yep, it's a heads up. Having the sun focused in your 11th house is you seriously saying, who do I trust for my network? And Venus in your 12th house is tuning in. Those snakes in the grass, they come out. I'm telling you, this full moon is not. I generally enjoy a full moon. Charge my crystals, sit back, enjoy a nice adult beverage. No, this one, these next 2 weeks, they're kind of. I'm reminding myself it takes two people to come to the table and argue. It takes two people to. The next 2 weeks are high energy where everybody is feeling tense at the same time. This is fighting and arguing, not just in government, but it's in other countries. Everybody's feeling it on a personal level and we're feeling it on a global level. And so knowing that, when somebody honks at you, keep on going. If there's a possibility of an argument, yeah, that's what this energy is. It is Mars feeling like somebody is treading upon my rights and things that I want to do. And you want to make sure that whoever you're aligning with for this, because I know your project is going to do really well, that sometimes we have to learn those lessons the hard way. And it reveals to us things about people that we just didn't know. And I look at it as an opportunity to say, oh, I'm glad I know now. Thank you, universe. Alrighty. Hey, shiny gems. You are not late. I am super glad that you are here. All right, so let's talk about Jacqueline. All right, so Jacqueline, you gave me free range, so I'm just going to skim around the chart and talk about what I see. Jacqueline, you are having Mars conjunct Jupiter in your 5th house, and like it's sitting on top of darn close to your Venus in your North Node. So Mars, the aggression, I want to move forward in with an affair or something that has to do with children or creativity, art, music, poetry, something that you want to launch, something that you want to do. The 5th house is creative self-expression and creative outlets. It's about what do you do for recreation, joy, fun, pleasure. It's also the house of where we're willing to take a risk. And so risk. This is about you wanting to take a risk and risky behavior. What's going to happen is you're going to have a square. Mars is going to first square Saturn in your 2nd house. Your 2nd house is your money, your resources, your skill set, your cash, your property. The 2nd house is how do I support myself? And so if it's gambling, I'm encouraging you to use caution. If it is starting a side gig or a project, make sure that you have the resources to back it up. Stop, pause, breathe before like launching it to the world, because Jupiter says this can be really big. This can be really good. Whatever you're creating or doing can be amazing. When Jupiter squares with Saturn, Jupiter is like gambling and saying, I'm all in. And Saturn is like, yeah, you can lose everything. And so use caution with being all in. Saturn wants you to say whatever you are doing, there needs to have, with money, with resources, skill set, you need to have a plan, a long-term plan that you don't lose everything and that you're going after the right goals. The downside to this is, are you working hard enough? Is this good enough? Is this basic or is this your best? Saturn always wants us to give our absolute best for everything that we do. You have Mercury stationing retrograde in your 8th house of shared resources. So we know that you are revamping, revising, renegotiating contracts, things that have to do with like eighth house topics, death, sexuality, wanting to discuss these topics, wanting to like bring certain things to the forefront that has to do with partnership. This could be with clients. This could be all types of negotiation, cooperation, contracts, promises. When Mercury comes into a cazimi, let me get rid of this. When Mercury comes into a cazimi, into the heart of the sun, you're going to have this aha moment. Know that Mercury is still going backwards, and it could bring back a person, like an old friend, an old lover, an ex. Mercury is thoughts and ideas and communication in the seventh house of you plus somebody else. And so it can revisit a topic, re-bring somebody back into your life. And the sun is totally illuminating this. The sun being in your seventh house, the full moon will be in your first house. There will be some kind of an ending or a closure or a culmination of something that you are starting, something that you're doing, that you will not look back upon. The Uranus will have something to do, the square to Uranus will have something to do with home. This could be, I'm moving forward and I'm never going to look back again. Uranus is the wild card that has to do with your living situation, your personal life, your home, your family, your roots, your tradition. It is on top of your Chiron wound. And so a feeling of being wounded, or how do I heal this wound, or I'm ready to move on from this. Not all endings are bad. This could mean I finally have met my goal, and the goal could be for health, the goal could be for weight, the goal could be for a job. Like, I have met the goal. I have completed this. Having a full moon in your first house is now what? And so the square with your fourth house will be now what? There's this uncomfortable tension that between you and partnership that might not sit well with everybody from your home or your living situation or where you are at. Where's your Venus? Hold on. Knowing that Venus is also in a T-square. I want to bring this up because Venus being in your eighth house is you saying, I need to be able to have these open conversations. I need to be able to explore this. I need to not be afraid. And I want the other person to be as open as I am. Because Uranus is your chart ruler, this square has everything to do with like your identity and being uncomfortable and saying, I have to embrace change because no growth comes without change. I don't want to become stagnant. And so, Jacqueline, I'm hoping all of this makes sense. I do not see you in the queue, but I'm sure that you are probably here somewhere. So I skimmed around, and I know that you're going to be starting a few things, and I'm loving all of this for you. Know to pause. Don't go all in for anything without a plan. All right. Oh, Celestial Pathways. Sorry, didn't mean to use your name. Great. Thank you. I'm so glad. Thank you for trusting me. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. All right, Dawn. Thank you, Dawn, for waiting. Let me pull up your chart. I'm double checking and triple checking because we are in Mercury retrograde. All right, Dawn. Right, Dawn. So your question was about best places to relocate. Without, I use whole other charts for that. I can tell you that you are aligning yourself for a shift and for a change. Um, I would need to know more about like where you want to go, and like I would need options in order to answer that fully. I do want to let you know like what is going on with you, um, because of the Mars Jupiter conjunction that's in your 11th house. This is who are you aligning with? Who are you networking with? The sun is in your first house of self. And so it's in a harmonious aspect saying, this is who I am. This is who like where I want to go, things that I want to do. The square is going to come with your resources that are connected to somebody else. I don't know if the resources are with retirement, savings, business partner, significant other. The eighth house with Saturn here lets me know that your resources are connected, or it's your investments are connected. You are looking to make a plan to launch something, to do something, to move. And with all of this going on, you're going to have to look at where is the best bang for your buck. Jupiter is the world is your oyster, and it's connecting with other people that can give you better suggestions, better advice. I want to look at Mercury. Mercury is currently backing up from your second house. Your second house represents you taking a look at your money, your resources, your cash, your property, your skill set, moving back into your first house of self. And it's how do I revamp myself? How do I show up differently? How do I change me being seen? And does that involve the move? Does that involve a move or a career change? The first house is your identity. And so it's how are you changing, growing, and evolving, rethinking, revising, redoing, renewing, all of these topics that have to do with you wanting to do this. Because the full moon, let's talk about the sun being in your first house. The full moon is going to be in your partnership sector, and so we know that there can be some kind of finality, some kind of ending that has to do with clients or partnership, or contracts or negotiations. The square is going to be with your 10th house of your job and your career, and so whatever's going on between you and partnership, the career is going to be the one that makes the final decision of I'm willing to follow it here. This is I want to go here. I want to do this. I need to be in better alignment. Is this for my best and highest good? I think I don't like. I wish I knew about where you wanted to go or things like that. And that's really more of an in-depth. I know that you are thinking about a shift of something that has to do with you, and the opposition is with your home. You have a lot of planets. You have the stellium going on in your fourth house of home with Scorpio. I love Scorpio energy, so I'm going to speak from a space of Scorpio energy is deep, it's intuitive, it's water. You needing to be near water, but needing to have a private place, like a place that that other people cannot, like. Okay, I have Sagittarius there, so I'm the more the merrier. I have an open concept in my home. Scorpio energy is no, we can meet, but I want to meet you over there. I don't want to invite everybody into my house. I need to feel safe and secure with where I live. I want to feel comfortable, and I don't want everybody's energy with where I'm at. I want privacy in my home. And so what you are working towards is something that has to do with you and partnership and who you are aligning with and networking. And these are my goals. And so if your goal is to move, you definitely need to be connecting with other people with either where they're at or where they've been. So I'm really hoping all of this makes sense, and make sure that you are checking and double checking everything that has to do with your personal resources and assets, where your money is invested, and things that you share with other people. And that means all legal matters, all your private affairs, taxes, obligations, debt, inheritances, wills, anything that's mixed up with other people and their resources. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. So thank you, Dawn. Thank you for trusting me. I greatly appreciate you being here. Alrighty, let me see who is next in the queue. All right, Deborah, let me pull up your information here. I appreciate you being patient and allowing me to double check, triple check. I'm ruled by Mercury, and when it's in retrograde, I learn to slow down and pause. Those are my life lessons. Alrighty. Let's see. All right. Oh, you have a beautiful air trine. I love this. All right, let's take a look. Okay, no specific questions, so it allows me to zip around the chart, which I absolutely love. All right, Deborah, let's talk. Okay, you're a Gemini rising. Know that a Gemini rising, always follow Mercury wherever it goes. Like, that's like the most important thing that I could say to you. And Mercury is currently retrograde in your fourth house of your home, your family, your foundation. It is your living situation, and it also rules your first house of self. Whenever Mercury stations retrograde, you will feel it in those two areas of your life. So like me, when Mercury is retrograde, I have to stop, slow down, and pause and make sure that what I'm doing, I have to review, revise, rewind, and so just a little heads up. So let's talk about you are having a Jupiter-Mars conjunction in your first house of yourself and your identity. It is literally on top of your Mercury and your Sun. So when it comes into conjunction or merges its energy, it blends it and makes it into something bigger and new and something that's different. And so for you, Jupiter wanting to, like, I'm ready to tell the whole wide world who I am. I'm ready to expand. This could mean expand with getting pregnant, expand with muscle gain. This could be expand my business, my website. Expansion is not always negative. Mars wants to initiate. It wants to go after. It wants to, like, I have this great idea. I want to launch this activity, this project, this I want to share with everybody. This is now me. This is my power, my expression. I want to share this with everybody because it's going to be on top of Mercury. Thoughts, ideas, communication, and the Sun, your sole purpose. I'm going to remind you to use caution during this time because Mars, Jupiter is in a square with, okay, let me get rid of some of these so it doesn't clutter everything up. Okay, Mars and Jupiter are in a conjunction and they're going to be squaring Saturn. Now, Saturn is at the top of your chart with your job, your career, your reputation, your legacy. This could be an authority figure. This could be a boss. This could literally be somebody with more authority than you, or this could be Saturn with your job or your career or this could be a boss. It could be your personal ambition. Mars moving forward is, I want to do this. And Saturn could be, you've only been here a year. You haven't put in the time yet. And you saying, no, I really want to do this, and I don't care if I've only been here a year. I really want to do this. This could be somebody else wanting to squash or suppress things that you want to do because of lack of experience, identity. It doesn't matter. It's going to be somebody else wanting to squash something that you want to do. The next thing that's going to come from this is, do I have to prove this? Do I have to Saturn says, show me your value, show me your worth. You cannot just come in here and change things and do things. What is your plan? What do you plan on doing with all of this? Yourself, your identity. Jupiter is saying, make everything bigger. Saturn is saying, no, I'm going to limit you. Now Saturn is going to say, I want you to do this. Are you resilient? Are you just going to give up? Are you just going to quit? The first house could be, I want to launch something. I want to try something new. This is about your vitality, your strength. It's who you are. Saturn says, do the due diligence. Put the time in. Come up with a plan that's workable. Don't just willy-nilly start something. Say, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to follow it up with this and this and this. Saturn says, here's the mountain. Have a plan in order to get to the top of the mountain for when you're going to have less food or less air to breathe. It's have a plan of action. Now, Mercury, knowing that we're bringing up topics of the way that you're communicating, contracts, negotiations, topics that have to do with the home. I want to then bring in topics that have to do with the full moon. The sun being in your third house of communicating with neighbors and siblings and close people in your community. The third house is where we make friends. It's where you go to talk to people at the grocery store and the dog park. The full moon is going to occur in your ninth house. And so this could be ending a class, ending a workshop, having something published. The full moon brings about an ending or a closure or culmination of something. I like the ninth house is higher education, religion, philosophy, beliefs. It's you finishing something. This could be legal matters. Like legal matters could finally end. The difficult thing that's going to come from this is the square to Uranus in your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of isolation, of behind the scenes. You have had to do a lot of behind the scenes work, being isolated, being kept alone, being the 12th house is the personal unconscious. It's our shadow. It can be affliction, it can be hospitalizations, it can be institutions. It's where we go when we need to stop, pause, heal, and renew, connect into source. And so there could be this ending, this culmination, this aha moment of, I get it. I understand where this is coming from. This is self-sacrifice of things that have taken me away from my every day-to-day life. And I'm able to clear out the karmic debts. I'm able to stop the broken record of self-sabotage or of understanding other people wanting to suppress you or other people wanting to hold you back. The 12th house is the house of healing and renewing. And so you able to heal and renew from something that's going to be there might be secrets that are revealed, and it could be about family or past, or the 12th house is the house of secrets or the unknown, and it's uncovering a secret. And this could come through dreams or past life regressions or through the Akashic records, anything where we sit and we're alone. So Deborah, I'm really hoping all of this makes sense to you. We know that you are putting in your time for your career and feeling like a lot is going on there. Let me take a look. All right. Thank you very much. Let me check the queue and see what's being said. Okay, Dawn, I totally understand that you got nothing out of the reading, that you did not feel like you got anything out of it. I'm sorry about that, and I'm definitely going to be refunding your money back for this. So, yeah, okay, moving on. Sorry, Dawn, that did not meet your expectations. Yep, definitely get your money back. All right, so Deborah, let's thank you, Deborah. I greatly appreciate you being here and for trusting me in your consultation. And let me see who is next in the queue. Shiny Gems, great example of Mars being problematic, right? $40 is not worth it. I will never fight over money, ever. I will never. It's not worth it. My peace of mind means the most to me. I want everybody here to be happy, to feel like you are getting more than my goal is always to give back. And so, yeah, yeah. Can't blame everything on astrology. Yeah. Dawn, I already said I was going to give you your money back. So definitely, money's coming back. It just takes a hot second. Jake is working the queue right now. And yeah, thanks, Shiny Gems. Yep, they're going to get their money back. You lost nothing but a little bit of time. Yep. All right. I am moving on. And by the way, it does take like up to 24 hours. So yeah, you'll definitely be getting your money back. Alrighty. So let me see. Miss KT. Um, you know what? Thank you for that. Yeah, definitely a woman. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely. She's definitely getting it back. All right, so let me pull up Miss KT. Let me see. All right. Miss KT. Miss Katie Q. Okay. 11:29. Hold on. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Oh, goodness. All right, Miss Katie Koo, let's talk about this. Chronicles, remember how I was just telling you about this? Yeah. Yeah, she's going to get it back. Yeah, don't worry about her, guys. I got her covered. Yeah. All right. So, talk about finances. Let's talk about your finances. So, I want to bring up that the Mars Jupiter conjunction is occurring in your seventh house of partnership. So I am not sure if this is you with clients, you with partnership. This is in opposition to who you are. Jupiter is your ruling planet. So we always follow wherever Jupiter is for you. And so if you're in a partnership, this means that your partner and their finances, their resources are also being scrutinized or under the magnifying glass. The square with this, seventh house is where we deal with conflict and legal matters. And so if this has to do with finances, this is jobs, clients, contracts, negotiations. You have Mercury at the top of your chart, and it's currently stationed retrograde. It's going back. And so 10th house topics are career, life path, job, reputation, personal ambitions. And so what are you doing with this? This is you identifying what is your self-worth, what is your cash, your property, your value, and this could be revamping who you are with job and career. The 10th house is where you want to make your mark on society. Mercury is going to go back into your 9th house, so it can bring up topics of relearning something, maybe going back to travel someplace for your job, your reputation. Because you're asking about your finances. Okay, let me get rid of all of this. The sun is in your 9th house, bringing an attention to its imports, exports, foreign people, places, and things, cross-cultural experiences, you connected to other people. I'm not 100% sure what like you do for a job, but this is you connected with other people, and how it's going to affect your finances is there's going to be some kind of an ending of a project, of something that's and something new. Like I want to talk about the positive that's going to come with it, because Mercury, when it stations retrograde, is going to be like in the we call it Kazemi, in the heart of the sun, and it's going to be, I have this idea, this is where I want to move forward, I want to take this class, I want to take this workshop, do I have the money, do I have the resources? If you're in a partnership, whether it be a business partner or a significant other, Jupiter is including your partner's money and resources in everything that's going on. You're trying to become your godson's foster care. Oh, okay. So can we talk about that for just a second? His mom is a friend who passed away. Okay. Mercury is the planet of communication, contracts, negotiations, and it's retrograde. Mercury is at the top of your chart, so this is authority figures looking at you, looking at contracts, looking at these negotiations. When Mercury goes back into the 9th house, do I have to take a class? Do I have to take a workshop? Like, what do I have to do to prepare the papers, to prepare the home? The 9th house is learning. The 9th house is also it's the 9th house is legal matters. Now, Mercury is going to go direct on the 28th. When Mercury goes direct on the 28th, it's unraveling all of the hiccups, the glitches of where is everybody, where is your godson, what's going on with the contracts, what's going on with the legal matters, and then Mercury will move back into Virgo. This is a big time for you, because Mercury rules also your 7th house, and the 7th house is conflict and legal matters, and how do you handle these things. And so this makes all the sense. All right, I'm gonna try to break this down with that information instead of just you asking about your finances. Jupiter and Mars in your 7th house is you with partnership, you with legal contracts. It's not going to be all easy or all difficult. Jupiter is going to conjunct with Mars in your partnership sector. It's going to square home. How do I bring this child into my home? Mars is, I just want to initiate it. I just want to do this. Can't we do this? And Saturn is saying, no, you have to set up the home. You have to get we have to have the paperwork ready. We have to plan for the long haul. Jupiter says, no, let's open it up. My partner, myself, like contracts, everything that has to do with social contracts, promises that have been made. Jupiter wants to expand, and Saturn says, we have to have everything planned out. This is our home that we're talking about. This is our living situation. This is, are you preparing your home? This will include your foundation, your traditions, and how does this shift and change everybody that's part of your home? I want to add into that there will be this, there's going to be, with the sun in your 9th house and the full moon in your 3rd house, the square is going to be to Uranus, is how is this going to disrupt your every day-to-day living? I don't always look at a square as it is a tension point. It does create change, but growth comes from the change. And so, yeah, having this child in your life is about how can I, how do I change my day-to-day living? Do you see you moving? Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, I do. I see you moving over the next 18 months. I don't know. I know you said it's been a busy, crazy month for the last 6 months, and a lot of things have changed. But what's going to happen is the eclipses starting this fall, actually starting next month. This eclipse is going to be shifting into your fourth house of home, and career. This is a new change of a career and a home over the next 18 months. Sometimes it happens right away, and sometimes it happens halfway through the cycle, and sometimes it doesn't even happen until the end of the cycle, like the end of the 18 months. But yeah, I definitely see a move and a shift with career and job. All right, I'm hoping all of this happens and it helps you. And sending you, yeah, definitely condolences and taking care of your godson, sending you a heartfelt hug for all of that. Thanks, Miss Katie Koo. Loving you for all that you do. All right, let's see who is next in the queue. Trisha. All right. What is that? 9/7. Okay, 9/7. Yep. 1979. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to say things out loud. What is the time? What is the time that you were? Oh, wait, Trisha. Martin, what is the time that you were born? I have your city and state, but I need the time. Is she in the queue? Can she give me a time?
She is in the queue, I'm looking.
Yeah, because the time does truly matter, like a lot. And your question, how the Virgo Pisces eclipse? Oh my gosh, see, I'm a Virgo rising too. Pisces moon on your career. Okay. Due on 8/13. Okay. Today is 8/13. All right. All right, do we have a time?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hit me up with your time, Trisha? I would greatly appreciate it. Yeah. So while I wait for Trisha to give us the time, if you are interested in the next eclipse series, we are going to be switching on into Virgo, which is mind, body, spirit, health, service to ourselves, service to others, taking care of ourselves on our day-to-day habits, and Pisces, which is watery, intuitive, and psychic, and wanting to be at one with the universe. I got it. And so that will be next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's generally about an hour and a half, 2 hours. These are interactive. And there we go. All right, Trisha. So you want to know about the eclipses in your moon and international assignment. Okay, I got this. All right, Trisha. 6 a.m. I gotcha. And Miss Katie Koo, loving you. Sending out air hugs. Let's see. The eclipses. Oh, you want to know because Virgo rising, Pisces with partnership. Oh my gosh, you have a huge stellium in your first house of self. Look, you should not only be concerned about like your moon, you should be also with, this is not just your moon. You're going to be having a nodal opposition. All right, so let's just dive into this for a little bit. These are the nodes, and you are a Virgo rising. know that whenever I speak negatively about anything, I'm giving you the positive and the negative. I'm a Virgo rising also. So Virgo can have OCD tendencies, give like it's positive that it's mental, physical, spiritual health, well-being, wanting to be of service, wanting to take care of, wanting to nurture. Your North Node is here. This is the direction in life that you are supposed to be focusing on your health. What can you do for yourself before you nurture and care for other people? Your Mercury is here. How do you communicate that on a day-to-day basis? How do you gather information? Do you find the facts? Do you believe gossip? Like Mercury can be OCD in the way that it communicates. It's reading a book, a text, email. It's like all of it to gather the information. Your sun is here. The sun is magnified when it's in your first house of, it's like this is really bringing into focus who you are. Saturn is here. You know that you have to have a plan that, like you're having a Saturn opposition. Saturn is the planet that says, have structure, have detail, work for it. Because you have so much earth energy, the difficulty that can come from this is I can be stuck. I can be so stuck in my ways that I can be stubborn and I don't get out when I know that I should, and that I stay for too long. And I always say, you're not staying for too long. If you've stayed for 7 years and it's not working, the only thing worse than 7 years is 7 years in a day. So you take the positive or you take the negative and you say, how can I turn this to my advantage? What did I learn from being solid and stable and a tree? We have to remember that trees, they flow in the wind. They have to bend. This is a nodal opposition of when the South Node goes into your first house and your North Node is going to go into your partnership sector. Yeah, it is going to be on top of your moon. It's also going to be activating your sun. This is an opportunity where who I am and my intuition, my feelings, and my emotions, there's going to be conflicting of how do I do both of these things? How can I be so solid and stable and be tapped into my intuitive side? Having the North Node dip into your seventh house of partnership can really align you with best friends, significant others, clients, one-on-one relationships with people who are in line with your mind, your body, your soul. The moon in Pisces is intuitive, it's dreamy, and it is psychic. And it's connecting to something more than just who we are. And you need that. The moon has to be fulfilled. Let's see. Hey, Chronicles, thank you for that big flame. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, your partner is a Pisces rising. Oh, so this is going to affect both of you opposite but different. Okay, let's talk about this. I always say that a nodal opposition is when, pretend you and I are driving a car. You're driving, I'm in the passenger side, and I say, Trisha, tell me about what's been going on the last 9 years of your life. And you start telling me, and I say, well, what do we want to leave in the back? And you start to turn around and look, and I'm like, no. If you want to leave something in the past, you have to really leave it in the past. If you want to put it in the trunk and think about, it goes there. If you want to put it in the back seat, it can go there. If you want to focus on something for your best and highest good and move into alignment, this is moving it to the front windshield where you can see it and be crystal clear. A nodal opposition is going to be for the next 18 months, and it will start next month. 18 months of your life of a realignment of looking where I have been, my past. What do I want to take from my past and move it into the future? I need to realign. I need to be in alignment with my partnership. I need to be in alignment with spirituality and with my faith and my beliefs and my hopes. My moon needs to be satiated. It needs to be embraced. I want moon in Pisces. I want to connect with people on a spiritual and emotional and a level that is connected deep. that's what you're going to want and need through this. And are you willing to balance or give up where you have been on a path and not always shifted for your best and highest good? Having so much earth energy, they come in opposites of earth and water, of you're going to have to give up something about yourself, of your beliefs or things that you've done that are not serving you. Just because you made a promise to do something does not mean that you have to fulfill it. If the promise is met, then the promise is met. It's time to move on. And so, Trisha, okay, this is good. How do I work with the energies? You know, Virgo likes to have a plan for everything. Pisces needs to embrace things as it needs to go with the flow. And so I'm going to encourage you over the next month, before the eclipses happen, to say, what do I like about myself? Because it's in your first house of self, and my partnership, not just with your life partner, but with friends and business partners and people in general, and say, what is good? What do I want to continue with? And what do I want to leave in the past? I was working with one of my clients who was clean and sober for a very long time, and they were having a nodal opposition. And I said, just so you know, the difficult things from your past are going to come back and haunt you for a second look. Do you really want to leave them in the past? And if you do, that's fantastic. Make a plan to move forward and make sure that that door is shut completely and you leave it in the way back. Like, you don't even look at it in your rearview mirror. Whatever you're leaving behind you, leave it behind you, so that when you're traveling forward, it gets smaller and smaller as you move forward. So Trisha, I'm excited for you. This is going to be like definitely connected, because it's your sun and your moon and partnership and you, and wanting to be more in alignment with what does that mean. So thank you, Trisha. Thank you very much. I really greatly appreciate you being here. All right, let me see who is next in the queue. All right, so Polly, thank you for waiting. All righty.
She just put something in the chat.
Great. I will look at the chat. All right. 10, 18. I greatly appreciate everybody being here, hanging out with me on a Tuesday. Los Angeles. All right. Oh, Polly. All right, and let me look in the chat real quick. Cy Woods, thank you so much for sharing these. I really appreciate you being here and appreciating it. Thank you. Okay, so Polly, I've been trying to buy a home with no luck. I'm thinking of pausing for now. My son is starting elementary, and my goal was to get him into a better school district. All right, and Trisha, you are very welcome. Okay, let's talk about what's going on with you. And I'm going to give you the same dates that, all right, if you are willing to pause on the home buying, I would readdress this the middle of April and up to the middle of July of next year. We have a lot of things going on, and this is not a time of home shopping. For you, everything is focused on you and your partner or partnership or clients or relationships. So yeah, if I could just start off with just saying, focus on where you are right now and not look at buying the house. You have Mercury at the top of your chart. Mercury is currently retrograde, going back over topics that have to do with career, job, responsibility. Mercury is going to go back into your ninth house of taking a class, taking a workshop, traveling here again, traveling there again. It's a reconnecting of people, places, and things. Mercury will station direct on the 28th. And so as it moves forward, it will be this opportunity to say, okay, I need to be in alignment with my partner and with my career, or with clients and my career. Because you have Jupiter and Mars in your seventh house, I don't know if you are in a partnership or if this is your best friend or significant other, but you are a Jupiter rising. So, or Sagittarius, sorry, you're Sagittarius rising. And so you're ruled by Jupiter. And so usually Jupiter in your seventh house means it's partnerships, something that is going on with your partner or with a client or with, and so you have this Mars Jupiter conjunction saying, yeah, I want to connect. Yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, let's sign these contracts. Yeah, let's move forward. And there's this initial push, desire, and without thinking. It's wanting to move forward without pausing, without thinking. Saturn is in a square at home saying, you know what, let's rethink our home. Let's rethink our living situation. Let's rethink our personal life, our foundation, our real estate, our property. What can we do to make this manageable for right now where we're at? The first planet that's going to move forward is Mars. Mars is going to come into a square with Jupiter and not Jupiter, Saturn. And Mars is going to want to initiate, and Saturn is saying, nope, we're going to stay here. We're going to live within these means. Does that mean remodel, refocus, doing something at home? It will be a let's stop and pause on this. Let's rethink and reevaluate. Jupiter is going to want to take something that your partner is doing, and Saturn is going to be at home saying there's something that's restricting you, saying we need a solid home life right now. Saturn in Pisces, Saturn is debilitated in Pisces. It just doesn't do as well. And it's about foundation and creating these healthy roots. You have Pisces here. It's watery, it's movement, it's wanting to be near water. And all of this is setting you up for like the full moon that's going to happen as a result. Like all of this. Are you in a partnership? Because if you're in a partnership, this really has to do with a lot of whatever your partner's doing that reflects on you. Okay, I'm going to talk about the full moon and what's going to be going on with that while you get back with me, Polly, and let me know whether you're in a partnership. Because if it's not, it's you with clients, it's you with a best friend, it's you with a significant. Okay, so Jupiter and Mars can bring a partner to you. Let's talk about this. Jupiter and Mars can increase contractual relationships. Your the seventh house is you plus somebody else. So this could be, hey, I met this person. This is absolutely great. And it's jumping in without thinking. This could also be with clients. This could be like meeting a new friend. This could be connecting with other people. If it's not with a best friend or significant other, this can also be with work, because it's about legal matters and trust and connection, and it's your social contracts and your social promises. And it's, I have this great idea. Let's go make this happen. Let's move forward with this. Whatever you want to move forward with will be conflicting with something that has to do with your home. It's wanting to move forward without thinking about it, and like promises that could be made without thinking about like the home life. And so it's definitely going to be like this pause. You're going to have the sun in your ninth house of, I want to travel there, I want to take a class, I want to take a workshop, I want to connect with these people. Mercury is going to back up into it and form this cazimi, and you're going to have this aha moment. I get it. It's like, this is what I can do. This is where I can maybe visit. This is where I can take this class, take this workshop. Mercury rules over your career, and it rules over contracts and negotiations. And so it'll be starting on the 28th, this opportunity to move forward, and with traveling, contracts, negotiations, written promises, all of those topics. You're going to have a full moon in your third house of illuminating topics that have to do with neighbors, friends, not friends, sorry, neighbors, siblings, cousins, and where you connect with people. The square is going to be in your sixth house of your day-to-day living. If I stay here, how do I make things manageable? The third house has to do with an ending of sorts with maybe places that you used to go to, old neighbors, something that, and not all endings are bad. Sometimes things just run their natural course. And so Uranus, being the wild card in your sixth house of your day-to-day living, could say, I need to be able to shift and pivot quickly. I need to be able to either work from home. It's the balance between your home and your work life. And what am I doing? Am I taking good care of myself? Am I taking care of everybody else? And I'm not thinking about myself. Uranus is, how do I meet my mental, physical, spiritual, emotional needs and for my best and well-being, and still care for others. Uranus is thinking outside the box to make wherever you are manageable until you can get to where you want to be. So I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you, Polly. Yeah, definitely I would put the pause button, if it's at all possible, on, I definitely see a move. And I definitely believe a move is going to be happening. Let me tell you why. I'm going to dip into that. Your nodes are going to be shifting into your fourth house of home and your 10th house of career. And when it happens, it will be quick, hard, and fast. It's going to be starting an 18-month cycle. And so it's going to be starting next month. So you may put a pause on moving, and all of a sudden, with the eclipses, something can come up, and it'll be surprise, shock. How do I make this happen? In what order do I make this happen? The eclipses, they come in 3 sets. So you're going to have one now, one in the spring, and then one 6 months later. And so, yeah, a move is going to happen, but it can happen between that 18-month period. With between that and we can narrow it down later, but definitely a move and a career shift, something that has to do with leaving of a career, ending of a career, a closure, a culmination of. All right, so Polly, I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. Let me see who is next in the queue. All right. Dennis. Let's see. Or Denise. I'm not quite sure if I'm saying it wrong. Denise? I'm going to call it Denise, and hopefully you never want to slaughter somebody's given name, because it's sacred. Our names hold sacred meaning. All right. All right. All right. So the question, you've been feeling stuck since October. Let's talk about that. Yeah. And the feeling is growing stuck. Oh, okay. Let's talk about why.
It's closer to Dennis.
Closer to Dennis. I got it. Okay. First off, thank you for trusting me. Greatly appreciate you being here. And let's talk about you being stuck and things that are going on with you. This guy, I'm just gonna skim around your chart and talk about a lot of things. You are not only a sun in Aquarius, a Venus in Aquarius, a Jupiter in Aquarius. Aquarius energy is let your freak flag fly. And I absolutely love this energy. It's in your first house of identity. You are learning to grow into it in this lifetime. Pluto has just shifted into your first house of self, and it's going to be here for the next 20 years. You learning, growing, and adapting to all of these things that have to do with who you are. You're very airy. Aquarius energy is, think about like a hive mind, but I want to be a bee, but I also want to be part of the hive. I want to be part of the group, but I also am unique, and I want to be me. And so this is a lot of air, and so you have water. Let me see, where's your earth? You don't have as much. And so grounding yourself is really hard. I always say that Aquarius energy is like you're a cloud, and you move around from one place to another, and then you merge with other clouds, and then when it gets to be too much, it's like, oh, there's rain, there's emotions, there's feelings, let's rain and get rid of it. Oh, I feel so much better, let's move on and grow and change and evolve into something else. Clouds are always moving, and they're always shifting and blowing. That's who you are learning to be and wanting to have freedom and liberation. Now, Pluto is the planet of birth, death, and rebirth. It's the planet of transformation. And it is in your first house for the next 20 years saying, it's time to be your authentic self, to let that freak out, like be unique, be spontaneous, be who you are, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you. Positive things that are happening with this, Mars and Jupiter in your fifth house. Okay, so I color code my charts so you can see. Blue is air, light blue is air. And so when light blue to light blue is in a harmonious aspect. So we know that everything that's going on here is in a harmonious aspect to your first self, your identity, who you are. The difficulty that comes with Jupiter and Mars conjunct in I want to create something. The fifth house is, what do I want to give birth to? And so if it's not a baby, it's creative projects, or what am I willing to take a chance on? The fifth house is the house of art and creativity and music and self-expression, and you really need to step outside the box and to do this. The difficulty is going to come with finances and resources of the fifth house can be spending too much time, too much money, risking everything. I explained it earlier as being all in, and like gambling and saying, I'm going to be all in. Saturn in your second house is saying, stop, don't do this. Use caution as you move forward with things that you want to start. The first thing that will happen will be Mars is going to move forward into your sixth house of, how can I start this? How can I do this? How can I make this a day-to-day part of my day-to-day living? And then Jupiter is going to square. When Jupiter squares with Saturn, it will be you taking a good hard look and saying, am I trying my best? Am I trying my hardest? Can I do more? Can I make this sustainable? Saturn wants you to be resilient, and it doesn't want you to give up. Saturn does not appreciate just the ragdoll where you just stop and quit. Saturn wants people to finish the race. Just because you're not in first does not mean that you don't finish. And so Saturn is like, no, you start this, you need to have a plan. You need to finish what you're doing. And so these next couple weeks are an opportunity for you to truly be focused on, I need to create fun, joy, pleasure. I need to get out of my own way. I need to do this. It is, let's talk about the full moon. I want to add one more layer to this, because you're going to have a full moon, and the full moon is going to be in your first house of self. And so this could be the ending of what's going on with you. The sun has you focused on what you are doing with everybody else. The seventh house is you and everybody else. The full moon is going to be in your first house of identity. It's the house of endings and closures and culminations of who you are, your desires, your interests. It could mean I've reached that goal. I'm done with it. I've explored it. The square comes with Uranus. Uranus is your chart ruler. You always need to follow wherever Uranus is. And Uranus is in your fourth house of your home, your family, your foundation of your living situation, your personal life. And there's this conflict between who you are and who you are at home, or who family feels that you should be, or your ancestors, the fourth house is not just the home that I live in, but it's also my city, my state, my country. And it's like feeling like a round peg trying to fit in a square hole, or whatever that saying is. It's something in conflict between you, partnership, and home, and wanting to be your authentic self. Now, there could be an ending with maybe you get, okay, I'm just going to throw out a bunch of things. Endings can be, I am no longer married, I'm divorced, so therefore I'm single. I'm no longer single, I'm married. I am no longer with my body, I'm now pregnant. I have lost weight and I've now met my health goal. I have joined these clubs and now I'm the president of, or I have taken these classes and now I'm a Reiki master, so now I can offer. There's going to be some kind of culmination or ending that's going to be on the 19th. Along with that, it will be pushing you to change, grow, and evolve, and accept that home and foundation and your living situation needs to be more in alignment with who you are. I'm going to look in the queue to see what's going on. Okay. Oh, it's okay. It's closer to Dennis. Good. Okay. I'm hoping all of this makes sense to you. Sometimes, for everybody, this is a difficult time. As an Aquarius, this for you feels like stress, tension, and feels like somebody is holding you back and saying, I want you to do the same mundane thing day after day after day. And it's driving you crazy because you're ready to move on. You're ready to explore. You're ready to do these things. And Saturn is going to say, you need to have a plan. You cannot just be like the air and go wherever you want. You have to do the work in order to get to where you want to be and do what you want to do. You cannot just fall into everything. You really have to put forth the effort. Saturn rewards where you put forth the effort. And so, okay, you wrote question, and so I'm not quite sure what the question is. Okay. Oh, should we keep moving to a different state, city on the table? Okay. Movement. Oh, okay. There will be some kind of a conflict that comes from this new moon, and it will be a quick shift, a quick pivot. I don't know if it's going to be a move that comes up. The eclipses are really going to be moving into your second house of your skill set, your cash, your property, your resources, and your eighth house of investments. And so with Uranus on your fourth house, anything can happen. This could be, I really don't see anything happening until like next summer, because Uranus is going to be shifting into your fifth house, although it will cause disruption or people moving in, people moving out, things that we're supposed to be doing, and you needing to have a solid, stable home. Uranus in Taurus is like an earthquake that forces you. The move will happen if there is a force. It's not out of want or desire. It will be a sudden shift of something that forces you. All right, so I hope all of this makes sense, Dennis. I greatly appreciate you being here. All right, let me see who is next in the queue.
Last one.
All right. Oh, Che. Shiny gems. I mean, shiny gems. I am so glad you are in the queue. I have been thinking about you. Holy mackerel. Okay, let's see. I appreciate everybody hanging out here tonight. Let's see. Let's see. All right, shiny gems. Let's see. You are very welcome, Dennis. Thank you for being here. All right, Che, let's talk about you. So, things that I know. All right, I'm excited about Mars and Jupiter. We talked about this briefly before, but I'm going to reiterate it because it's part of a bigger story. Mars and Jupiter are conjunct, or will be exact tomorrow. What's going to come from it is 3 transits, 3 squares to Saturn. So this is in your house of travel. So this is like you connecting with your partner, you traveling, like, yay, let's go there. Yay, let's do this. I'm so excited because this is what you should be doing. The square with Jupiter, Mars is going to limit some things. Mars rules partnership. It's also contracts and agreements. And so I'm throwing out there that you might get a phone call. You might get something like where your father is at that says, hey, we need you to come back. We need to address this. Like Mercury's retrograde, review, rethink, revise. Mercury rules over your 12th house. It also rules over the 9th house of where you're going. So whenever Mercury is retrograde, I always feel like I'm being pulled back and I cannot enjoy the moment that I'm in. So I'm encouraging you to have a plan and have a backup plan so that you can be in the moment with where you're at. You will be reviewing. You're going to be like, I say, going back over to places that you've already been to, like going down memory lane and like a reconnecting with your partner. The square with Saturn. Oh, so sorry. I didn't read your question. It's also opposite to your natal Mars. Absolutely. You mean Mercury? Oh, you mean, hold on. The opposition is to your natal Mars. Yes, and that's what I'm going to talk about. You've already decided that they need you to come back. You're going to go back as soon as possible. There you go. All right. What is going on with Saturn? Saturn stays in a sign for like 3 years. So this theme of what is going on right now during the next 2 weeks, you're going to readdress it December 24th, and the days come before and the days after, and then again in June. So it's going to be a similar theme. The good part is once you understand what the theme is, Jupiter, I want to travel, I want to explore higher level learning, cross-cultural experiences, like you connecting with going places and doing things and exploring. Absolutely. The square is going to come with Saturn in your 6th house of your day-to-day living. How can I do this if I'm working here? How do I find a balance with my home and work? Am I taking care of myself? The square is also going to be exacerbated by the nodes shifting into your 6th house, saying, I want to make sure that saying, are you focused? Are you doing this for your best and highest good? Are you paying attention to your health, your nutrition, your vitamins, your supplements? Are you taking good care of yourself? This, with Saturn being in Pisces, where the eclipses are going to come into with Mars and Venus all here, like this is all conjunct together, and saying, I need to make sure that I need to find a balance. Can I do all of this? Absolutely you can. You are structured, you are organized, you are detailed. You have to do these things. You have to get out there and do this. Otherwise, you will become stagnant. There will be anger. There will be frustration. There will be, and that is, from partner's perspective, and from your perspective of blaming somebody else for something that you didn't plan on. I want to talk about the full moon, because you're going to be there for part of the full moon. With the sun in your 11th house of networking, meeting new people, these these are my new hopes and dreams and goals, and these are like these new connections. Truly, you going there is going to be exploring, connecting, and traveling. The full moon is going to be in your 5th house. The 5th house is creative projects, things that you've started. So think back to where have I taken a risk, things that I've given birth to, art, music, creativity. The 5th house is of self-expression, it's recreation, it's gambling, it is where I'm willing to take a risk and try to do something. The square is, and I'm looking at this as a positive square because Uranus is in your 8th house. It is almost sitting on top of your north node. The 8th house is, how do I broach these topics? These are taboo topics. How do I become comfortable with my partner? How can I get my partner to be comfortable with me, that we can share and explore and have a soul connection? This full moon is going to give you this opportunity to illuminate some topics that were hidden and that were in the dark that, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't think about this. It reveals things. Uranus being in the 8th house is the house of sexuality. It's birth, death, and rebirth. It's deep connections that you want to have with other people, and it's psychological. So this could be your partner sharing some kind of information with you, or you sharing your experiences with your partner to say, I'm willing to be vulnerable. What does vulnerability look like to you? What does it look like from them? It is, I want to connect with you more than just on this level that we have. This visit, this vacation that you're taking, it is more than just going to go see a play and having dinner. This is a reconnect with Mercury and a finding this opportunity to blend and merge together on a soul level with them. I absolutely I love this for you because this is going to push you outside of your comfort zone, in that your partner is going to want to hear, and you are going to want to hear things about your partner. You're going to need to say, I'm a safe space, and you need to say, like, I want to share this with you. I want you to understand where I'm coming from, or why I do this, or how the reasons behind this, because people don't always get it. I love all of this for you, but it's not going to be, you're used to difficult. You're used to difficult. So whenever I say things can be difficult, you just put on the big girl panties and buckle up and say, here I am. I can do this. I can do anything. Are we allowed to say a badass? But like a goddess, a warrior. And you can say, look, I want to connect up with you, and we're not going to shy away from each other. And this is a reconnection. This is, we are going to stay connected and make these plans. And I'm truly interested into the whole Christmas thing, because the December 24th is when this will come exact again. And so things are going to come to you in waves of healing, and then ease and grace, and then open-ended opportunities, and then ease and grace again. And so, I would have said you are very used to difficult. You are definitely used to difficult. And so I know that she is also. And I know, stupid keyboard. Because you have Saturn on top of your Mars and Venus, I know that if I have a plan, that I can follow through with anything. Saturn just says there's limitations, and you look at it and say, where's the end zone? Because I'm going to be there. That's what Saturn says. Saturn just says, look, nothing good. It's not like it's going to be no good comes with ease. It's going to be I have to work for it. And you know that all good things come when we are working in unison with someone and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, because that's going to offer you the opportunity for healing. And so, oh, of course she's going to be coming out during the Christmas season. Okay, so make a note of everything that's going to be going on now, because you're going to be readdressing it for a second go round. And then the third go round will be in June of next year. And so the fact that you've actually planned this or accidentally planned this during this transit, look, I love this. I love this for you, because this is growth, an opportunity to say, yeah, there's going to be some tense aspects, but Jupiter wants to expand everything. Jupiter's the great benefic, and Saturn is the great malefic. And the tension that can come between them is friction that pushes something new that comes from it. And so, be open with communication. Yes. Yeah, that's what can come from this. I'm excited for you. A lot of coffee chat times or tea or whatever you have of let's sit down and let's be in person and face each other and either hold hands or like be in the same space to have those intimate conversations, to be able to look into each other's eyes and see into each other's soul. So Che, I'm super excited for you. I know that you are up for this, and there's going to be these great moments, and then there's going to be these, I learned from this, I grew from this, I appreciate this. And so, yeah, you're going to have to let me know like how this all goes in the end. I'll be excited, because this is what's setting you up for the next eclipse cycle of how can I create this and make this a day-to-day thing, because this long distance thing is going to grow old, and you're going to want to bring it in and make it closer. And so I'm excited for you. So I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. If you are interested in the webinar that's going to be coming up, that's next Tuesday, you can find out more information about it at willowgracemystik.com. It is on the next eclipse cycle, which is starting next month, and it is an 18-month cycle of where the nodes are shifting into. And I greatly appreciate everybody being here. So sending out air hugs. All right. Bye.